Hello everyone, welcome back to Serene Storyteller. Are you ready for a magical journey? Get comfortable in your favorite bedtime spot, maybe snuggle up with a cozy blanket and your favorite stuffed animal. Tonight's story, The Ugly Duckling, is a tale of transformation and self-discovery. So, take a deep breath, relax, and let the story begin. Once upon a time, on a peaceful farm, nestled in the countryside, a mother duck sat patiently on her nest, keeping her eggs warm. She knew that soon they would hatch, and she would have a new brood of ducklings to care for. One by one, the eggs began to crack and hatch, and the mother duck was delighted to see her fluffy yellow ducklings emerge. They were all adorable, except for one egg that was much larger than the rest. After much effort, the large egg finally cracked open, revealing a duckling unlike any the mother had ever seen. He was big and gray, with long, awkward legs and a rather large beak. The other ducklings quacked and giggled at the sight of him, making fun of his size and appearance. The poor duckling felt very sad and out of place among his siblings. "Look at him. He's so big and clumsy," quacked one duckling. "Yeah, and his feathers are all gray. He's not like us at all," quacked another. The poor duckling hung his head in shame, feeling more alone than ever. As the days passed, the duckling tried his best to fit in with his brothers and sisters. He tried to swim like them, quack like them, and even play like them. But no matter what he did, he was always left out and teased for being different. One day, unable to bear the taunting any longer, the duckling decided to leave the farm and seek a place where he could be accepted for who he was. He bid farewell to his mother and siblings and set off on a journey into the wide world beyond the farm. The duckling wandered through fields and forests, across rivers and streams, searching for a place where he could belong. Along the way, he encountered many different animals who were curious about him. "Hello there, little duckling. What brings you out here all alone?" asked a friendly squirrel. "I'm looking for a place where I can be accepted for who I am," replied the duckling. "Well, you're always welcome here in the forest. We're a diverse bunch, and we believe that everyone is special in their own way," said the squirrel with a smile. The duckling was grateful for the squirrel's kindness and continued on his journey with renewed hope. As the seasons changed, the duckling grew bigger and stronger. His gray feathers began to molt, revealing a layer of white feathers underneath. He was surprised by this change in his appearance and wondered what it meant. One day, as he was swimming in a pond, he caught a glimpse of his reflection in the water. To his amazement, he saw that he had transformed into a beautiful white swan. "I'm a swan," he exclaimed happily. "I'm one of them." The other animals in the pond were amazed by the swan's transformation. They welcomed him with open arms and invited him to join them in their graceful dances and elegant swims. "Welcome, friend. You're one of the most beautiful swans we've ever seen," chirped a bird perched on a nearby branch. The swan was finally happy. He had found where he belonged, among creatures who accepted him for who he was. He learned that true beauty comes from within, and that it is our differences that make us special. One day, as the swan was swimming in the pond, he noticed a group of ducklings playing nearby. They were quacking and splashing in the water, having a wonderful time. "Hello, little ones," called out the swan. "May I join you in your game?" The ducklings looked up in surprise. They had never seen a swan before, and they were amazed by his beauty. Of course, you can join us, quacked one of the ducklings eagerly. The swan swam over to the ducklings, and together they played games and splashed in the water. The ducklings were fascinated by the swan's long neck and graceful movements, and they asked him all sorts of questions about his life. Did you always look like this? Asked one curious duckling. No, replied the swan. I used to be a big, gray duckling, but then one day I looked in the pond and saw that I had turned into a beautiful swan. The ducklings were amazed by the swan's story. They had never heard of such a thing happening before. Wow, that's so cool, quacked one duckling. I wish I could turn into a swan too. The swan smiled. You may not turn into a swan, but you will grow up to be beautiful ducks. Just remember, it's what's inside that counts, not what you look like on the outside. The ducklings nodded, understanding the swan's words. They were grateful to have met such a wise and kind friend. As the sun began to set, the swan bid farewell to the ducklings and continued on his journey. He knew that he had found where he belonged, but he also knew that there were many more adventures waiting for him out in the world. And so, the swan traveled far and wide, spreading his message of acceptance and self-love wherever he went. He was a beacon of hope for all who felt different or out of place, showing them that they too could find their own place in the world, just like he had. I hope you enjoyed The Ugly Duckling. Remember, just like our duckling friend, we all have our own unique beauty and journey to discover. As you drift off to sleep, think about the wonderful dreams awaiting you. Good night, and may your dreams be as beautiful as you are.